Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jones here. I have to apologize. I did not get my third hour class recorded, but I did want to make this video for you so that you would know what to do on today's assignment. And I really want to bring some attention to a couple of the questions that I'm seeing people struggle with on the study guide and that I want to bring their attention to on the test. So the first thing you're going to do is go to classwork, and this was assigned yesterday, the Chapter 1 study guide. We are using this through Kami, so when you click on this, you should have the button here that says Open with Kami, and when you click it, it's going to ask you a series of login questions. You log in with Google, you allow access to work with Kami, have it access to your Google Drive. You answer that you're at a K through 12 school and that you are a student, okay? And once you do all that, it'll bring you to this page, okay? Now, the way you work with Kami is you click your text box and you click it where you want it to go. And I made a video for this for you guys already and gave you some instructions. That's not really the big purpose here of this video. I just wanted to kind of remind you of that. Now, this will go with, also on the assignment is the link to Quizlet. And make sure this box here says original, otherwise it could really get you messed up if you've been studying on it. This Quizlet is going to match this study guide exactly. The first 10 questions are just vocabulary. You put the word or the definition in there, okay? Here is one that I want you to look at. Number 10, 11, and 12. 10. What is a good title for this map? Well, there's no map on here, right? You have to go to your Quizlet and you have to look at this map. And when you look at this map, you see you have North America and South America. It tells you that this is a time where part of the dark gray here is covered in glaciers, or large blocks of ice, and the light gray is areas of land that is exposed. You see you have the Bering Strait here, and you have these dark arrows moving south through North America into South America. It says that's possible migration routes. And then the dots here are known sites of prehistoric hunters. So who is it? Prehistoric hunters. That means these are people that lived a long time ago in the BC era. And we have possible migration routes. What you're asked to do here is to write a title to this map, okay? So you want to have two things in your answer to this. Who's doing the action in the map, and what are they doing? So you want your answer should be something like prehistoric migration routes, migration of early people, early nomad migration routes, or migration of early nomads, how early people got to North and South America. All of those would be perfectly acceptable titles. Your title needs to have who's doing the action, something about prehistoric people, early nomads, and what are they doing? Migrating, moving, walking, transferring themselves from one place to another. Okay, so what I'm seeing a lot of is people are just copying. Your answer should mention early people and migration. I'm just telling you what your answer should have in it when you write your own title. You don't need to copy that word for word. And that's pretty obvious that you're just kind of mindlessly going through it. Remember, the purpose of a study guide isn't just to get something done. The purpose of a study guide is to actually take a look at it so you're prepared for the test. Okay, the next two questions you have characteristics of blank, characteristics of blank. So you want to take a look at this. Which one used tools, ate grains and fruit, hunted for most of their food? We know that's characteristics of nomads, so you're going to want to fill that in with nomads. Used tools, ate grains and fruit, built permanent shelters, relied on crops. Those are characteristics of farmers, so you're going to write farmers in there. Okay. Now, you have some multiple choice answers that you have to, if you look on here, it gives you the answer, and then there's, in some ways, there's multiple choice options. I don't know if you can see them on these cards, but you definitely see the answer, and you want to write that into here, okay? I want you to pay attention to number 20. It says, what present day country was home to the greatest number of these early civilizations? Now, yes, you could just copy the answer, but you're not going to have that on the test. You need to know where you got that answer from. So if you take a look at this chart here, you have the Olmec, Maya, Aztec, and Inca. It tells you when they existed and where they existed. So for the Olmec, we see Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras. Maya, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Belize. Aztec, Mexico. Inca, Peru, Colombia, Argentina, Chile. Well, which one of these pops up on the most of these civilizations? Mexico's under Olmec, Mexico's under Maya, Mexico's under Aztec. It's the only one that's in 3 out of those 4 civilizations. So therefore, your answer would be Mexico. Okay? Here's another one. You can just copy the sentence off of there to get your study guide done, but if you don't understand where you got the answer from, it's not going to do you a lot of good. It says Maya civilization was a theocracy, a society ruled by religious leaders. Powerful Maya priests believed the gods were visible in the stars, sun, and moon. Their understanding of astronomy and their advanced mathematics helped them predict eclipses and develop a 365-day calendar. The Maya also developed a system of writing that used hieroglyphics, symbols or pictures that represent things, ideas, or sounds. Now you're asked to find one sentence in here, and on your test you'll click on the sentence that you think is correct that explains why the Mayas were good at astronomy, or in other words, why were they studying the stars and moon? Well, if we look on there, why are they looking at the skies? Well, they believed that their gods were in the stars, sun, and moon. That sentence, powerful Maya priests believed gods were visible in stars, sun, and moon, is the sentence that tells us why they were studying the sky. The rest are either unrelated or results of studying the sky. Okay? More multiple choice answers that you need to go through. And then you have a few quotes by a man named Hiawatha. Hiawatha was one of the founders of the Iroquois Confederacy, or Iroquois League. On this one, he says, friends and brothers, you being members of many tribes, you have come from a great distance. The voice of war has aroused you up, and you're afraid for your homes, your wives and children. You tremble for your safety. Believe me, I am with you. My heart beats with your hearts. To oppose those hordes of northern tribes, so he's talking to groups of people from many different tribes who are afraid, and we find out that they're afraid because they're being attacked by northern tribes. And to stand up to them alone would be destruction. We must unite ourselves into a common band of brothers. Okay, why do they need to be one common band? To protect themselves from people attacking. We must be one voice. Many voices make confusion. Okay, why can't everybody do their own thing to try to defend themselves? Because there'd be disorganization and confusion. Okay, so if we look at the questions here, why did they put the Iroquois League together? To defend themselves against enemies. Why did opposing their enemies separately not work? Because they would fight disorganized and separately. If we look at this, okay, I'm having a little trouble here. Sometimes Quizlet does this. It pauses and let me open up my picture. It says, Onondaga, you people sitting under the shadow of the great tree whose branches spread far and wide, whose roots sink deep into the earth, you shall be the first nation because you are warlike and mighty. Oneida, he describes them and he says, you'll be second nation because you give good counsel. The question is, which one of these tribes does he think is the better warriors? Well, if you look there, he says the Onondaga are warlike and mighty. That means he thinks they're the better warriors. Okay? So what you've got to do is go through this entire study guide using your Quizlet and answer it. This is your test, ladies and gentlemen. This is everything you need to know. It'll be written almost the same way, maybe just a slight different, matching words to definitions or pulling something into a category. So this is what you need to know. If you study this, if you fill out your study guide, if you go over this Quizlet, you're going to be just fine on the test, which is Thursday. Tomorrow we will do some review for the test, in which I'll record that for you. And then I think I'll even leave open classes tomorrow. I'll run them live if you'd like to take part with us, okay? So, test is Thursday. Fill out the study guide, and that should be everything you need. Have a great day.